Now, hundreds of Sydney business owners are battling to break leases they can't afford to pay as the impact of lockdown worsens. Joining me live is Publican and former Liberal MP Craig Laundy. The third week of this lockdown, it looks like it's going to hang around for a while.
Yeah, Timmy, we don't know how long, but 50 cases yesterday, 44 the day before. We could be here for a while.
And what effect is it having?
Well, massive. Businesses aren't making a quid, but also, more importantly, they're not employing staff. So we're not paying our staff, and those staff aren't spending money back in the local community. So it's a massive roll-on effect. And
no JobKeeper, which is really like skating on ice. There's been talk of small business grants for those who are over the $75,000 mark per annum, but there's plenty underneath that. There's lots of holes, which is a real problem.
Yeah, when this first started, almost 18 months ago now, but when this first started, it was uniform lockdowns across the country. But the problem with statewide lockdowns is the federal government leaves it to the states, and at the moment in New South Wales, they've got their $500 payments for, I think it's, if you lose more than 20 hours, $325 if you lose less. But that doesn't really cut it compared to what people were earning pre the lockdown. So the impact is massive, and the impact longer term, 18 months of uncertainty. We don't know when the lockdowns are coming. Low vaccination rates. It's a nightmare at the moment.
One positive that we've seen this morning, Dan Tehan has come out and said that in the past week there's been 1 million vaccinations. It took 45 days to get the first 1 million vaccinations. Would you like to see more incentivisation for people to get the vaccine? We've seen one pub owner in Melbourne say that he'd give free beer or half-price palmies.
Yeah, look, we can do our little piece, I guess, Tim, but at the end of the day, it comes, I guess, being backed into a corner makes people get on the front foot, but the uncertain health advice hasn't helped. But my great hope, we are a country historically that has been big on vaccinations. Measles, polio, we sit at 94-95% of the population. My great hope is that people see beyond the uncertainty and having learned conversations with people in the last 48 hours. A local cafe owner saying, I just want to wait and make sure that the health advice is right. When there's uncertainty in health advice, there's uncertainty in the community more broadly. My hope is that the Australian public embrace it, and then business can move beyond where we find ourselves at the moment.
Yeah, well, the health advice is just obvious, isn't it? It's absolutely obvious. Like, I've quoted this Yale study the past couple of days. In America, 279 million plus deaths avoided by vaccination, 1.1 million hospitalisations avoided by vaccination, and the whole world is opening up. We saw Ash Barty wonderfully win with crowds, and there's where the health advice is. It's now for the PR to be done correctly in this country, so people that are fearing fear itself don't fear it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Timmy. I don't think it helped. We put all our eggs, probably rightfully so, because we produce it domestically in AstraZeneca. Then we had the uncertainty about blood clotting. We didn't go more broadly with Pfizer and Moderna and what have you. But now we have. But I just hope that people see beyond that. And you're right, there needs to be a big PR campaign, because historically, if you can appeal to Australians about the broader good, we are good vaccinators. As I said earlier, we need to get on the front foot, get vaccinated and get beyond this, because at some stage, lockdowns are a short-term fix. Longer term, we need to work out how to live with this virus, because it's not going away. It'll keep mutating and coming back in other forms. but we need to work out how we live with it moving forward. And vaccination is the only way we can.
Yeah, it's a short-term fix with a lot of damage, the lockdown. That's the thing, and you know that all too well. What about leadership? How important is strong leadership? We often quote Churchill's leadership through the Second World War. Have we started to see, and Gladys Berejiklian has done a great job, but we've started to see her get very, very edgy. We still need strong leadership done. You need to send a message to those doing the wrong thing, but it needs to be coupled with a sense of we're going to get through this, which we will, and that's a fine balance, because the mental health of a society is really important.
Yes, Gladys has done a great job, and don't forget we've been the state that has done the heavy lifting. We've taken literally half of the returns from overseas. We've come up with the way that we do that. We've kept the economy functioning where every other state has closed down on and off. But this Delta variant is very serious, and she's taken the steps that she has. But you're right, she needs to, and she is. She's standing up each morning at 11 o'clock telling us what's going on. But and telling us the implications of each individual's actions can hurt. And that's what vaccination, sadly, is the only way that we can come through the other side of this. And that's why, her and Kerry Chant standing up at 11 o'clock every morning and telling us, get tested, get vaccinated. These are the same messages that she needs to keep harping on about.
Yeah, exactly. But it needs to be coupled with positivity to those 99.9% of people that are doing the right thing, and most of them are, and they're sitting there frustrated, possibly vaccinated. So there's a fine balance of messaging, and look, no one's perfect, but we're just chatting along the edges. Hopefully next time we chat, things will be a lot brighter. Good to talk to you, Craig.
And we can have a beer, Timmy, I hope.
Yeah, your shout. See you then.
Absolutely.